get the out of my CrossFit community.
I don't think I see a lot of value in competing in the CrossFit Games season for myself at this point.
Let me tell you what is just a complete slap in the face of Vellner and Fikowski. You have to have your level 1. They basically, by making the CAC, they went like this to him.
Not doing the CrossFit Open this year.
I don't stand by what's gone on at CrossFit HQ and how they've been handling the situation and what happened at the CrossFit Games. I'm not going to do the Open.
How hilarious is it that all of these athletes come out to like, hey, we've got these demands. We want this to change. We want that to change. And CrossFit comes back and like, all right, no in-person semifinals.
Are you out on CrossFit again? And is it just easy to be out on something? Because you're sitting here watching a video with who has probably been the most critical man of CrossFit for a very long time. But I, Andrew Hiller, have never, ever, and still to this very point in time, do not want CrossFit to burn.
You're a bum. Stay in your f***ing lane of your dying sport.
I don't know. I don't love any of this.
What's that one there?
This is for Coach of the Year, so MVP.
I don't see your name on there, mate.
No, I've never won it. I've never won it. So funny story, actually. A couple of
21, not awarded.
Is that what it says? Some of the coaches took it after Todd won it for the second time. One of the boys was talking to him like a week after, and he goes, he's like, oh yeah, how many times has Royce won it? He must have won it a bunch, hey. And Todd's like, no, he's never won it. We only started it like 3 years ago. Like he's never won it. And they're like, what? We thought he won it a bunch back in the day. It's like there was no back in the day. So maybe this year could be my year. Now that everyone knows I haven't won it, and no one's voting for me because they think I've won it a bunch.
The big thing is Toddy's won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Todd Shannon, 2022, 2023. Can he do the 3-peat?
Someone asked me last week, where do you stand on this whole CrossFit thing? Are you doing the Open next year, or are you boycotting? You know, what side are you on? And so I wanted to make a video on the topic, and I was thinking, like, where do I stand? And I realized that it's so easy to get caught up in the YouTube, Instagram world where things are exaggerated and sensationalized and dramatized, because it has to be, right? When you create content, the purpose of creating that content is you want people to see it and view it. And for that to happen, you have to have these extreme stances. You have to have this extreme kind of standpoint, like, I am doing this, you know, and it's like, it's often not reality. It's often just like over dramatized, and people love it. People love the drama. And so I thought about it and I told the person, how about nowhere? Like, I don't stand anywhere. I'm not going to choose that side or this side. I'm not going to be, you know, left or right. And because that is the reality. I don't understand the athlete's standpoint. I don't understand CrossFit's standpoint. Like, I'm not close enough to the staff at HQ and what happens there. And so I think it's okay to not actually choose a side as such, you know? And if you come back to reality and actually go to your local CrossFit gym or the local CrossFit boxes in the area and see what they think. What is the actual reality on the ground? Are they affected by what happened at the games this year? Are they affected by the new changes that have been announced? And so I thought, I'm going to ask my box owner how they feel. Is their box growing? Is it dying? Are the members freaking out? What's happening? And then today I was also going to Torian, CrossFit Torian, to do some filming. And I thought I'll ask Royce, who's a well-respected coach and athlete in the space, what does it look like at ground level, you know, the grassroots? So here are their responses. Royce, I live on YouTube and Instagram world, and it seems like CrossFit's in dire strait. Like, it's just so much negativity. You're on the ground here, grassroots, every day at Torian coaching. Since the games and since the release of the new season, like, has it affected the members, or like, is it actually dying? What do you think?
Honestly, not at all. Like, we had a testing day yesterday here at the gym. We had people hitting PBs, feeling about themselves. Like, what CrossFit is about health and achievement. Our members are getting fitter and stronger for their lives, not for the CrossFit games, you know? Like, I think if you have a box that's affected, like if your CrossFit business is affected by the game season, you haven't set your box up right, you know? If your coaches are invested in making people better, then the game season has nothing to do with that. You know, like it's still every day. These are the best people. They come in to see their friends, to PB, to have fun, and we're here to facilitate that as coaches and be part of that. And we've got more members than ever, and we're thriving, and I expect us to keep thriving regardless. You know, like it shouldn't affect, if it affects my mood, the game season isn't as good, and I bring that into the gym, then I'm a bad coach and I should stop coaching. It's that simple.
Where am I standing?
Right, there's good, Hannah. Right. Actually, no, I want the gym in the background. It's just Hannah's gym.
Hello.
There you go. It's just hey,
Action.
Action. Out in social media world, the space looks pretty dark and gloomy. Like it's all negative. The sport's dying. Everything's just going downhill, you know. But I wanted to ask you, as a local box owner, what is it like on the ground, grassroots, day to day? Do members actually care about what's happening in the sport, or what's the vibe?
I would say in your affiliate, your box, your CrossFit gym, whatever you have, people just come, they just want to train. They want a space to connect with other people that have similar interests. They really don't give a crap what's going on in the outside world or in the media. People are here socializing, having fun, still getting PBs, and honestly, it's like, it's not even a thought in anyone's mind, I wouldn't say. Unless you're like an OG old school CrossFitter that's really interested in the politics of CrossFit, doesn't matter.
So there you go. If you just kind of step away from the social media world and look at actual reality and what's happening on the ground, maybe it's not as extreme and as crazy as it sounds like it might be, you know? There are characters on the internet like Sevan and his crew like Taylor and Pedro and all those guys that are often very critical of CrossFit, but now when CrossFit is seemingly down, instead of kicking them while they're down, are encouraging us all to sign up for the Open and push people towards CrossFit and to not kind of abandon CrossFit now when they need us most. And then there are also, you know, athletes like Brent Fikowski and Pat Vellner and others that are kind of speaking out saying maybe we should boycott CrossFit, maybe we shouldn't sign up. I'm not saying that Brent or Pat said that, but there are athletes out there that are kind of like, maybe these guys need to learn their lesson once and for all, and we have to perhaps boycott the sport, boycott the Open, because they are just ignoring the red flags time and time again. And I find myself conflicted because I agree with Sevan, I agree with Taylor. Like, I love CrossFit. I come from a CrossFit affiliate owner background, from a coach's background. I love CrossFit. I do not want to see it die. And so I'm going to do the Open, and I would never encourage anyone to not sign up and pay for the Open. But then I also respect veteran athletes and just good dudes like Fikowski and Vellner, guys that are not emotional, guys that have their heads screwed on right, and I really respect as people. And I don't have their perspective. I haven't spent years and years behind the scenes in the athletes area, dealing with Dave, dealing with HQ. I haven't got that perspective. They do. And so you can't help but not take them serious as well. And so it's tough. I feel like I've got friends on both sides, you know? But I don't feel like anyone has to make a decision to kind of take sides as such. A few things that I will say, that I do believe. I do think that the modern CrossFit athlete is disconnected from CrossFit. I feel like the OG CrossFitters were a lot more involved when it came to owning affiliates, having their level ones, being involved in the community, actually going to HQ to create content, you know, being in touch with the staff. And I do feel like there's a disconnect now where athletes train in their garages, they don't have a whole lot of input or a lot of connection with the local CrossFit community. It's kind of like they care about their brand and their sponsors and their performance, and there's definitely a disconnect between athlete and community that I think used to be a lot stronger. That is for sure. I do hate the mob mentality. Like I don't like people rallying together to go against the company and to kind of teach them a lesson. I feel like if you have a conviction to do something, then go and do it. But rallying other people to do the same, I'm not a massive fan of that. And then when it comes to the new season, sure, it's another change. It looks messy, but it's all speculation on how it's actually going to play out. It might play out beautifully. The online semis, the sanctional events, they actually might work really well. We don't know. So I'm just going to wait and see. I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to wait and see how the season plays out. My prediction is that majority of the athletes will take part in the CrossFit season. I don't think there's going to be a rival league kind of pop up between now and the season starting. If it does pop up, it's going to be very, very hard to compete against something like the CrossFit Games season that's been, you know, it's well established, it's been going for years. I don't think people realize just how hard it is to create a new sports league, a rival sports league. It is incredibly tough. And even if you do pull it off to a high standard, getting people to come and watch, that is not easy. Trying to get people to kind of buy into this new thing, it's going to be tough, but we'll have to just wait and see. So there you go. That's all I have to say. I'm not choosing a side. I don't feel like I have to. My reality is on the ground in the CrossFit gym. I'm turning up to coach, you know, at my gym, and people are learning how to do muscle ups and snatches, and it's a beautiful thing. And so for me, nothing's really changed in that capacity. I do love the sport and the athletes. I do wish that the athletes would buy into the community and to CrossFit more, and there'd be more synergy between the two. I think that disconnect actually is a big part of the problem we're seeing now. It's kind of like athletes versus CrossFit, athletes against CrossFit. Where in the past, it seemed like the athletes and CrossFit HQ were kind of like side by side, facing the same way, like chasing the same goal. Now it seems like they're kind of facing each other and it's one versus the other. I don't like it. I think that is maybe a big part of the problem we're seeing in today's CrossFit world. Final thoughts. I don't think CrossFit will die. I think we're strong enough. I think there's enough history. It's enough of a beast to get through challenging times, and it kind of feels like we're in round 2. We just finished round 2 of like a 5-round workout. You know that feeling? You've just finished your second round of the workout, there's 3 to go, and you feel like your world is just closing in on you. You're questioning your decisions to even start the workout. Things are tough, but somehow you just grind on, you get through that 3rd round, and all of a sudden things start to seem a bit more doable. You start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like currently our community is in that end of the 2nd round. Things are tough, things are horrible, but I do think we're going to get through it. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Is CrossFit dying? Will it survive? Will there be a rival league? Are you on the let's boycott CrossFit and the open kind of vibe, or are you let's not kick them while they're down, let's actually back them and see this thing come through? Let's sign up for the open, let's take part, and yeah, what do you think? What side do you fall on? I'd love to know your thoughts. Stay sexy, keep roaring love, and I'll see you next Tuesday for the High Rocks video. I'm doing High Rocks this Saturday, so next Tuesday will be my experience from this weekend. Hopefully get people like James Newbury, Tia-Clair Toomey, Khan Porter, Jay Crouch, Maddie Stir, they're all doing it this weekend, so hopefully get all those guys on the vlog. That'll be fun. But yeah, we'll see you soon. I'm getting rained on. Love ya. Bye.